India's IT industry contributed around 7.7% to the country's GDP and is expected to contribute 10% to India's GDP by 2025. The IT industry has not only impacted the economic growth of India, but it has also made the government more accessible and competent. The IT industry is essential for our economy to prosper exponentially and to generate millions of job opportunities. Hello and welcome to VAR India News Hour. A recent study by Nasscom shows that the Indian IT companies made a massive contribution to the US economy last year through employment, investment, strategic partnerships, and business deals. The Indian IT companies, alongside its customers, have generated $396 billion in US sales, supporting a total of 1.6 million jobs and contributing over $198 billion to the US economy. It also spent about $1.1 billion to grow STEM learning in the US and developed partnerships with nearly 180 institutions in the US. Nearly 40 to 78% of the revenues of Indian IT companies come from the US, of which TCS, Infosys, Wipro, HCL Technologies and Mahindra have more than 50% exposure. Indian IT accounts for about 55% of the global IT services industry market share. A report released by HDFC Securities in June 2022 reveals that India-headquartered IT services firms like TCS, Mahindra and HCL have doubled their revenue market share from 13.9% in 2011 to 28% in 2021. Interestingly, market share of firms with foreign headquarters like Accenture, Capgemini and Cognizant have dropped from 86% to 72% in the same time. In 2022, the Indian IT industry crossed the $200 billion mark in revenues to touch $227 billion, an impressive record according to Nasscom. Indian companies also invested $1.1 billion while partnering with more than 180 colleges and universities, building a more robust pipeline for STEM courses. Report states that the demand for STEM jobs in the US is expected to grow 1.5 times faster as compared to non-STEM occupations over the next decade. More than 70% of this demand would be supported by the IT. As the US recession gains momentum, analysts from Goldman Sachs predict that IT spending would be negatively impacted in the US as well as Europe. This is consequently expected to also impact IT companies. While the Indian IT sector on the whole is putting up a more optimistic front and allaying fears based on high global demand for IT services, the impact of a US recession on IT companies cannot be fully ignored. Considering India's inflation rate spiked to 6.95% in March 2022, which is the highest recorded rate since October 2020, experts believe that a potential plunge should be expected. Let's look into today's headlines in VAR India. Let's look into today's headlines in VAR India. Judiciary should shed inhibition of using social media, says Justice Chandrachud. Justice Dhananjay Y. Chandrachud said that the judiciary will lose its game if it does not shed its inhibition of using modern social media tools such as Twitter and Telegram. He emphasized that technology must be put to its best use by the justice delivery system in the interest of transparency and accountability. Justice Chandrachud highlighted that judiciary's resistance to use the means of modern communication has to change because it can reach out to the citizens by only using the language of discourse, which is today becoming so prevalent in the society. An Australian hacker charged for creating and selling spyware to cybercriminals. An Australian national has been charged for his purported role in the creation and sale of spyware for use by domestic violence perpetrators and child sex offenders. The accused currently resides at Frankston, Melbourne, and is said to have created the remote access Trojan when he was a teen, while also administering the tool from 2013 until its shutdown in 2019 as part of a coordinated Europol-led exercise. The defendant has been charged with 6 counts of committing a computer offense by developing and supplying the malware, in addition to profiting off its illegal sale. Yes Bank to raise $1.1 billion via private equity sale. India's Yes Bank Limited will sell up to 10% stake to US private equity firms Carlyle Group Inc. and Advent International for $1.1 billion. Yes Bank will raise the funds through a combination of about $640 million in shares and about $475 million in share warrants. Yes Bank will offer 3.69 billion shares to affiliates of Carlyle Group and Advent for 13.78 Indian rupees apiece. The company will also issue 2.56 billion share warrants at a price of 14.82 Indian rupees per warrant to both the investors. ONDC integrates with another 17 platforms. Open Network Digital Commerce or ONDC, as it prepares to launch in August, has already onboarded 9 platforms and is in the advanced stage of development of adding another 17 platforms with itself. It also has garnered interest from various other platforms which include telecom majors and banks. AMD Ryzen 7 5800X3D using cutting-edge technology. AMD uses cutting-edge technology to fuse some extra cache on its cores and has put Team Red back in the lead again. The 3D V cache is AMD's namesake technology for the processor that allows the company to stack extra cache chiplets vertically on the processor. Utilizing the same base frequency as the Ryzen 9 5950 and the same TDP of 105W, the Ryzen 7 5800X3D and its 8 cores powers its way through games without any problems. That's all for now. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to VARINDIA News Magazine. You can download the VARINDIA app from Google Play Store and Apple App Store for the latest news and updates. Stay tuned. Thank you.